Greetings, students. This is Lancaster, and this is Chapter 7. The first thing I want to do, because you're going to be getting further and further into doing relationships, is to look at the relationships that are set up between employees, orders, and customers. It's important to understand that the data in employees doesn't want to be repeated for every order. So we have our detail of our orders in a separate table. The same is true for customers. You don't want to have to store all of the customer information over and over again for every order. So we have our relationship for employee ID to employee ID in orders, and our relationship between customer ID and customer ID in orders. So looking at your data, which you should always do to be familiar with what you're trying to accomplish, you can see our relationship here to orders. And then same as in employees. All of those orders would have had to store all that employee information over and over again if we hadn't put them in separate tables. And then finally, we have our order data. So the first thing you're asked to do is to create a new field called a new table called countries, and insert 2 records. And we're going to use that on one of our forms to build a combo box. So that's going to be on the update employees form, and country will become a combo box. I don't want a text box. So if you'll right-click on the field country and select change to, combo box will be available to you because I've already done it. And then you're going to make the control source country. So now you'll have a drop down for country in that new table that you created. The next thing that we want to do is look at the tab order. So in the design tab, under tab order, all you need to do, we want postal code to come right before country. All you need to do is select the postal code field and drag and drop it. You can drag it like that and change the location of the tab order. And then you'll notice when you open the form into form view and you tab, you can see how that tab order was impacted. It went from city to postal code and country and then to region. And that's because you changed the tab order there. Now we're going to look at the View Employees form and add a new label control to the right side in the form footer. So we have an arrow up here. Let me see. Let me take that out. Double click there and change that to View Employees. I believe you were asked to. And then you're simply going to choose a label control, drag it to the form footer, and type in this information that you're asked to do. Also, this is a view form only. We're only able to view, not add, update, or delete. So you want to set those settings in the properties of the form. Let me see, where is it? Okay, so let me see, where is the... Here it is. Data entry, no. Allow additions, no. And allow deletions and edits, no. So this is a form that you cannot change. You can only view the employee data. And if you type, you see that nothing happens. Now we're going to create a new report using the wizard with first name, last name, hire date, and home phone fields. So we select employees, select create, and then report wizard. And we want last name, first name, hire date, and phone. We want to accept all the defaults. And there we have our employees. This is a report that I ran before, and because I have grouping levels on it. So we want to group it by reports to. Then we have the detail. We have a count of the first name. That's going to be how many employees report to that particular person. And then at the footer, we also have a count of the first name so that we get how many employees that we have. So to add the grouping levels, you go to group and sort, and you can see that it's already been added, but you've got a drop down here to decide what you want it to be grouped by. And then you can add a sort if you want to. So take a look at it again and you'll see those counts. We've got 1 that reports to nobody. We've got 5 that reports to Andrew Fuller. And finally at the bottom we have our total of 9. So those are count fields. Now, one that may give you trouble is the one for the number of years that are employed, considered that the current date is 12/31/2017. So go to the builder. Where is the builder? You could go there by clicking on the ellipse too. And we're going to be using that date part function that we've used before for months. But what got me is that it's not just Y for the date part of years, but it's four Ys for the date part of years. So we want the date part, the year part of 12/31/17 minus the date part years of hire date. And that gives you the number of years employed. And we added our groups. I inserted a page break. We added our text box for years employed, and we added our formula in the text box that counts the number of years. So that's pretty much it for chapter 7. There was only a couple tricky things. That date part I found to be tricky because I didn't realize I had to have 4 Ys in there. And that calculation. Let's see what order shipping looks like. It's just a plain form you can create with the form tool. All right, that's it for chapter 7. Y'all have a good day.